or none like it hot. You're probably wondering why your ice cream went away. Well, Susie, the culprit isn't foreigners, it's global warming.
Global wobble?
Yeah. Meet Mr. Sunbeam. He comes all the way from the sun to visit Earth.
Hello, Earth. Just popping in to brighten your day. La 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 la. And now I'll be on my way.
Not so fast, Sunbeam. We're greenhouse gases. You ain't going nowhere.
Oh! Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh, God, it hurts!
Pretty soon, Earth is chock full of sunbeams. They're rotting corpses heating our atmosphere.
How do we get rid of the greenhouse gases?
Fortunately, our handsomest politicians came up with a cheap, last-minute way to combat global warming. Ever since 2063, we simply drop a giant ice cube into the ocean every now and then.
Just like Daddy puts in his drink every morning. And then he gets mad.
Of course, since the greenhouse gases are still building up, it takes more and more ice each time. Thus, solving the problem once and for all.
But
once and for all!
That heats up the Earth, and then some of the radiation that is absorbed and warms the Earth is re-radiated back into space in the form of infrared radiation. This thin layer of atmosphere is being thickened by all of the global warming pollution that's being put up there. And this is Mount Kilimanjaro more than 30 years ago and more recently. And a friend of mine just came back from Kilimanjaro with a picture he took a couple months ago. Another friend, Lonnie Thompson, studies glaciers. Here's Lonnie with a last sliver of one of the once mighty glaciers. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro. This is happening in Glacier National Park. I climbed to the top of this in 1998 with one of my daughters. Within 15 years, this will be the park formerly known as Glacier. Here is what's been happening year by year to the Columbia Glacier. It just retreats every single year. And it's a shame because these glaciers are Italian Alps, same site today. An old postcard from Switzerland. Throughout the Alps, we're seeing the same story. It's also true in South America. This is Peru 15 years ago, and the same glacier today. This is Argentina 20 years ago, same glacier today. 75 years ago in Patagonia, on the tip of South America, this vast expanse of ice is now gone. We have seen in the last couple of years a lot of big hurricanes. Hurricane Jeannie and Francis and Ivan were among. As the water temperature increases, the wind velocity increases and the moisture content increases. And you'll see Hurricane Katrina form over Florida, and then as it comes into the Gulf over that warm water, it picks up that energy and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Look at that hurricane's eye. And of course, the consequences were so horrendous. There are no words to describe it.
We're getting reports and calls that is breaking my heart from people saying, I've been in my attic. I can't take it anymore. The water is up to my neck. I don't think I can hold out. And that's happening as we speak. We told everybody the importance of the 17th Street Canal issue. We said, please take care of this. We don't care what you do. Figure it out. Everybody.
Simulated in a laboratory, a tornado is fairly simple to analyze. It's really a whirlpool of converging opposites. Upwelling warm air confronts down-tumbling cool. Dry air encounters moist. Winds aloft collide with winds below. In nature, that produces torrential rains, dangerous. In the Western Hemisphere, the islands of the Caribbean and the southeast coast of the United States are prime targets for hurricanes. And the most destructive natural disaster in U.S. history was Hurricane Andrew.
We have the band now approaching the coast. So we're just starting the long period of about 12 to 16 hours where we're going to experience the thrust of this hurricane.
When Andrew struck Florida on August 23, 1992, its winds were clocked at 164 miles an hour, and they were still climbing when they broke the wind gauge at the National Hurricane Center. The storm hit hardest just south of Miami, though it came in.
We also set an all-time record for tornadoes in the United States. Japan, again, didn't get as much attention in our news media, but they set an all-time record for typhoons. Previous record was 7. Here are all 10 of the ones they had in 2004. The science textbooks have had to be rewritten because they say that it's impossible to have a hurricane in the South Atlantic, but the same year the first one ever hit Brazil. Summer of 2005 has been one for the books. The first one was Emily that socked into Yucatan. Then Hurricane Dennis came along and it did a lot of damage, including to the oil industry. This is the largest oil platform in the world after Dennis went through. This one was driven into the bridge at Mobile.
No other force in nature can come close to matching the power of an earthquake, except one. Tornadoes strike with the intensity of a quake and the surgical precision of a guided missile. They have the power to fascinate as well as terrify. And with the advent of video camcorders, the terror is being well documented by home movie makers.
This is in Hayesville, Kansas.
Bring it back in, Mom.
It's going to hit our house, Mom.
Just looking for it to hit. It's tornado.
Sometimes a cameraman gets more than he bargained for. On a lakeshore in Minnesota, an idyllic summer afternoon is about to be transformed by the arrival of a tornado.
Look at that funnels.
Within seconds, curiosity will be replaced by panic.
Look at there.
Look at the highway trees.
Oh,
The power line just went out.
power line just went out. Look at them. The power lines, I'm getting every power line out.
This is cool.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it comes. It's right out here. I'm 10 feet from it and all.
Ice shelf in the Arctic, the Ward Hunt ice shelf. It just cracked in half 3 years ago. The scientists were astonished. These are called drunken trees, just going every which way. This is not caused by wind damage or alcohol consumption. These trees put their roots down and has collapsed as the permafrost thaws. This woman's house has had to be abandoned. The pipeline is suffering a great deal of structural damage. 15 million acres of spruce trees in Alaska that have been killed by bark beetles, the exact same phenomenon. There are cities that were founded because they were just above the mosquito line. Nairobi is one, Harare is another. There are plenty of others. Now the mosquitoes, with warming, are climbing to higher altitudes. There are a lot of vectors for infectious diseases that are worrisome to us that are also expanding their range, not only mosquitoes, but all of these others as well. And we've had 30 so-called new diseases that have emerged just in the last quarter century. And a lot of them, like SARS, have caused tremendous problems. The resistant forms of tuberculosis, there are others. And there's been a reemergence of some diseases that were once under control. The avian flu, of course, quite a serious matter, as you know. West Nile virus. It came to the eastern shore of Maryland in 1999. 2 years later, it was across the Mississippi. And 2 years after that, it had spread across. Floating sea-based ice cracked up. It no longer held back the ice on the land. And the land-based ice then started falling into the ocean. It was like letting the cork out of a bottle. And there's a difference between floating ice and land-based ice that's like the difference between an ice cube floating in a glass of water, which when it melts doesn't raise the level of water in the glass, and a cube that's sitting atop a stack of ice cubes, which melts and flows over the edge. That's why the citizens of these Pacific nations have all had to evacuate to New Zealand. In 1992, they measured this amount of melting in Greenland. 10 years later, this is what happened. And here's the melting from 2005. Tony Blair's scientific advisor has said that because of what's happening in Greenland right now, the maps of the world, this is what would happen to San Francisco Bay. A lot of people live in these areas. The Netherlands, one of the low countries, absolutely devastating. The area around Beijing that's home to tens of millions of people. Even worse, in the area around Shanghai, there are 40 million people. Worse still, Calcutta, and to the east, Bangladesh, the area covered includes
I've been so still, afraid of crumbling. Have I been careless, dismissing all the distant rumblings? Take me where I am supposed to be, to comprehend the things that I can't see. 'Cause I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep and I need to wake up now. And as a child, I danced like it was 1999. My dreams were wide, the promise of this new world would be mine. Now I am throwing off the carelessness of youth to listen to an inconvenient truth.